Okay, this is me on my first climb. I'm just taking a look around right now and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Since it's an on-site competition, you weren't allowed to see any of the routes before you showed up and decided you wanted to go. Here I'm asking for slack. He was like, oh, I thought you were saying, are you on the black route? Because you don't even know what route you're going on. As it shows here, this is a 510C, and I thought it was more like a 510A personally when I climbed it. Part of the fact that it was a little easier for me is that I'm a little taller than other climbers that were in the same division. And some of my coworkers were like, yeah, just because you're taller, some of those reachy moves are a little easier for you. One of the things that you'll notice as I'm going up is that I'm just trying to step up into my next handholds and keeping my arms extended. That's one of the things I've learned to be able to stay rested while I'm climbing. And right there you see as you're going in, you try to get the best hold you can. I went in with my right hand at first. Coming in with my left was something better, and you'll see now that I was able to lean back a little on that to reach up to that next hold. So yeah, this was a lot easier for the first route than I thought it would be. And again, I thought it was a 10A. It turns out that it's actually a 510C. And I thought I'd give everybody a chance to look at something like this to see what I was talking about with my email from a while ago, saying I was really excited to do a 511A. And even though it wasn't really a straight climb, I had rested on the rope or whatever. I had fallen a few times on it, but I had actually did that 510C pretty easily, so I could get on 511As I think now and do a little better. So that's basically how that climb went. Alright, so this next climb I'm getting ready for, I thought that it was a 510C, just based on me not knowing what it was. And they didn't publish or put a card on each of the routes, which I was glad for because I didn't want to know what it was before I climbed it, thinking, oh well, 510Ds are hard for me, and kind of discourage myself from being able to do my best and just climb it, you know. So I was able to climb this one thinking it was more like a 510C, which is pretty doable for me. 510D is the best I've actually climbed before. The 511A I climbed, but it was really sloppy, kind of resting on the rope and things, like I said. And here, my belayer, he's just kind of pointing out some things to me, saying, hey, don't forget that you've got some of the holds that are black, that are still marked with the blue tape on your route that you can use. They're great footholds just because they're small, don't forget. And that was something that kind of helped me as I went up on this one. The thing with the competition is that you get 5 minutes to start your climb. You get your 1 minute to start getting ready to tie in and everything you tie in. Then you get 5 minutes from the beginning of the time you look at your route to finish it and then come down. So right there, I went ahead and looked at it a little bit, kind of looking around, checking for my feet here too as I go up, and then trying to step up tall into my next handholds. There were a few times on this route. I really liked how I did this move, by the way. Just because I'm a little taller, I was able to do it a little differently than some of the other climbers. But I really liked how I did this move, especially when I chalk up with my right hand on this, because I kind of shifted my weight. I really liked how I did that. Anyway, I'm a little taller than some of the climbers, so I think this was a little easier for me than it was for them. And with doing this voiceover, I don't know if you can hear Willis, my boss at the Quarry, saying, oh, go Derek, we've got Team Quarry at stake here, and just cheering for me. And somebody said something about Spidey or Spider-Man. I don't know if they were talking about me or what, but just different moves like this. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I can climb stuff like this when not very long ago it was really difficult for me to do. As I get up into these last couple of handholds, I'm reaching up for that one. They're really tiny. Basically, I'm doing a full hand pinch. You can kind of see it with my right hand. That's what I'm doing, pinching those so I can step up to the final hold and end my route there. So again, I thought this was a 510C. It turns out it was actually a 510D. Really the highest that I had actually accomplished, or that I had finished with that rating. And a 511, like I've been saying a couple times already, it's pretty difficult to do. but I was really excited when I did go up, even though it was a sloppy route on the first 511A I did.
Cover the hat here. Okay,
Now, this is me just talking to the guy that was right after me in each of the routes, and I was talking to him about those full hand pinchers, just kind of going over that with him. Emily's just getting a little extra footage here. Here I go in, getting ready to. Here's the 1 minute you get to tie in before you look at your route.
You get 1 minute
So I'm just taking care of that. And then this guy, he was pretty cool, just really relaxed guy, belaying for me. They had it all really nicely set up with different guys there to belay for you at each station and give you just the basic rundown of the route. This guy was really cool. He probably would have been in the same division as me, or maybe the one just higher. They start out at novice, then they go to beginner, which is what I was in, then intermediate, advanced, and open. Emily can tell you guys too, but there were some, oh wait, maybe she won't, but I saw some of the guys later. It was at 5 o'clock when I went in for work that day, but there were some of the guys in the open division that were doing some amazing things on their lead routes with some climbs that are up like 513A and B that basically means that they've got tiny holds to be able to hold on to and get up the route, and it was just amazing to see. Here I'm just moving the rope next to my route out of the way. Here I was thinking, oh, I kind of want this one to move, but I decided against it because the route kind of ended where the was already at. So here we're just getting a basic look at the route. These are the kind of holds that you see on a 511B route. I actually thought that this was more like a 510D or a 511A. Turns out that it was a 511B, so I was pretty impressed with how I did on this one as well. So I'm just getting ready to go here and starting out my climb. So here again, leaning back, getting your feet, pulling in to stand up to the next hold, moving your feet again, and then standing up to the next hold. What I'm doing there is called flagging. It's really where you basically don't have a foothold, you just put your foot out against the wall for balance. So now I'm moving up to the next one. I was kind of tentative on this. My arms were really tired. I had a lot of blood pumping through them, and I couldn't really relax them as much as I would have wanted to, because you only get that 5-minute break between each climb. So here, this is an undercling that it's actually pretty tiny. That undercling where I had both hands on for a second, the purple one. It's just a tiny little thing where it's like the size of a pitcher handle on one side, and on the other side, maybe the size of this spine on the LBS Bible. So here I'm going up. You see this green one that I'm going to next with my left. That is called a crimper, where I just get my fingertips on there and I kind of hold onto it like that. And I went up there. I should have moved my feet up. Here you see me doing the replay. Should have gotten my feet up a little higher first and gone up to it, because that specific hold is called a jug, where it just kind of, or a sloper, where it slopes off, and you got to move up a little slower too. And I tried to, but for a 511B, I was really impressed with how I did on that route.